Did you hear that, Wellington? People buy from people, not dogs. So right now they might be thinking you're the star of the show, but in actual fact, I don't know if you heard what the Chief Marketing Officer of LinkedIn, Jessica Jensen, had to say, but point number 3 was pretty clear. People don't buy from dogs, they buy from people. Yet I know that most of you are watching this now and thinking, oh, what a lovely dog. And he is. And he's just been sitting on my lap here this morning for about 25 minutes so far, showing no signs of wanting to get down, which is lovely. But we were just watching, as we do, watching the feed on LinkedIn, scrolling away, and up pops the CMO of LinkedIn. And what's of her top 3 tips? What is the finale of the top 3? It's all about the need to show up on video, because on all of the content they're now seeing, she describes the funnel as a tornado, which I just love. It's getting real wild now. But there's so much content out there that is just AI generated slop. And if you want to stand out, it's about your humans, your humanity, and all of the features of your life, including your pets. It's about your humanity and how you show up on camera. People buy from people. That's the best way to build trust. And after 30 years in mainstream media, I've seen this, the ability of video content to build community. And at the core of the community that it builds is ultimately trust. It's about how to build trust at scale. And all of these metrics are now measurable, highly measurable. The return on investment is beyond dispute. But at the core of it, where does this start? It actually starts with you and your capacity to show up authentically on camera. What does an authentic connection look like on camera? What does it look like when you actually make a video that's just the real you? It's not scripted, it's not forced, it's not rehearsed, it's not the media trained version of you. I think media training's just done a huge disservice to people. It might have given them a level of confidence to show up on camera, but it's not the real them. It's the voice trained, breathing techniques, staged posture, highly choreographed version of you. And that doesn't really, I mean, you might even wonder if that's counterintuitive, counterproductive, that it might actually be creating a level of distrust and uncertainty. And is that the real them? Why don't they just talk normally? How to show up authentically as you are, who you are. That's the magic. And as I say, as a crime reporter for 30 years in all the mainstream TV stations in Australia, the commercial networks, 7, 9 and 10. That's what I saw consistently over time. And those who did it much better than me, it was their ability to just to look and sound professional, but actually just, it was this kind of capacity they had to connect with real people, an authentic human connection with the audience. And you know, I managed to get to a certain level of that. I struggled with it for years in the beginning, so I understand what it's like for you now as a leader who's kind of close to the business. You know the numbers backwards, but you're kind of in the spotlight now. The need is there. Your teams are saying to you, your CMO is saying to you, your marketing team is saying, we need you to front the camera and actually show up authentically. We need you in the spotlight. And you're like, hang on, I've got technical expertise here. I've got experience running the organization. Leadership, yes, but actually showing up and telling the story, it feels unnatural and deeply uncomfortable. And so a lot of people go down the path of media training because it's a procedure, it's a formula, it's a way to show up. It's been practiced for years, and in the old school, the old way of doing things, it kind of worked, right? When it's just about delivering an 8-second grab for the TV news to insert yourself in the cycle and, you know, respond to whatever was happening in that space, then that's kind of enough. But it doesn't work like that anymore. It doesn't work like, what are you seeing? Whether you want to get down? Okay, there we go. It doesn't work like that anymore. It hasn't worked like that for quite some time. What people now want to see is the real you showing authentically. Welli, it's okay. Come in. Don't stand in the rain. Welli, come here. He's really on guard duty here now. It's about how you're going to show up and actually share your message, put yourself in the story, include interviews with other people. That's exactly what Jessica Jensen, the CMO of LinkedIn, said. It's about client testimonials, but not from that kind of staged, formulaic way. Guess what? The thing that really excites me is everything that I've been doing for 30 years in mainstream media can now be done with your smartphone, can now be done the most cost-effectively and time-efficiently yourself to camera. You don't need to involve other parts of the team. There is no one else who can do it more authentically than you. There's no one else who can do it as efficiently as you. There is no one else who can produce this volume of content that doesn't need to have a long shelf life. You don't need to make a video today that's going to last for the next 12 months or 6 months or 3 months. Make a video today that is about today's message that you want to share with people today. But the biggest hurdle I hear people kind of wrestling with, and the reason why they don't feel comfortable on camera. I get it. This is where I sat. For about 5 years, it held me back. It took me that long to get comfortable on camera. Do you want to come back up? Come on. You're coming up again? Come on. Lift you up. Come on. How to actually get comfortable in this space and show up. It always takes a little second here to get ready. Yes, there we go. All right, we're back. We're back. I spent about 5 years wrestling with it, finding my real voice, real purpose. And in the end, what helped me connect more authentically with my viewers on, it was Channel 10 at the time, but then 9 and 7, for the years that followed, what helped was, and I'd had both. I'd had mentoring and I'd had media training with a voice coach, an amazing woman who knew the craft backwards. But what I found was the procedures and techniques that she was able to show me about how to breathe, how to stand, what part of my voice, I mean, we really got down into the anatomy of your throat, your voice box, your lungs, your diaphragm, your eyes, how you communicated with everything, right? It was a real science to it, which I respect. But I found that it wasn't able to help me to connect with the audience. In fact, it made it more of a performance. What helped was mentoring. And the mentoring that I got from a veteran crime reporter in Sydney did more for me than anything else, because it shifted the focus completely from how I spoke, how I performed, how I stood, how I showed up on camera, to what I was thinking about when I delivered messages, the news, on camera. And it shifted the focus to the content. It shifted the focus to the story. And really what it was about, and this is what Harry Potter, not the boy wizard, but the veteran crime reporter, he'd been doing it for decades and he knew better than anyone else what mattered most was the people who were involved in the story. For him, it wasn't about the craft of journalism. It was about the people that you were representing. Ultimately, the victims of crime, their families, and the homicide detectives, the senior police who were running investigations. And he knew how to build trust with the people that mattered, and that delivered extraordinary stories, exclusive stories. But for him, the value wasn't in the story itself. It was in the connection that he had with the people that were involved in that story. And so that's what shifted everything for me, was seeing that and recognizing when you're telling the story, it's not about how you stand, breathe, speak. You know what you want to say. It's about being willing to show up authentically and share it. That's what's at the core of it. Many people miss that. They think it's, they focus on getting the script word perfect. They agonize over it and worry that if they get the words slightly wrong, then, oh no, this is really important. And sure, I'm sure there are some circumstances where a couple of precise words really matter, but those situations are rare. And what I find more often is that people let this be the reason for perfection paralysis. They avoid the camera completely. They decide to stay quiet. They get other people to tell the story or their story for them. And the real downside of that is their competitors, their counterparts in other organisations who are trying to establish corporate culture to retain retain top quality staff and to attract good quality candidates, their counterparts are getting in ahead of them, are doing a better job of telling the story, of connecting with the market, of the people who are trying to take their job are going to be getting in ahead of them by doing a better job of telling their story. So friends, wherever you're at as a business leader, as a C-suite executive who is hearing this louder than ever, the need to show up authentically on camera, this is the way to do it. This is what will drive real change for you. As an executive coach, I work with people all over the world, many of them I've never met in person, and help them to shift the paradigm from performance to connection. It's not about a certain set of techniques that will change how you look and sound. It's actually about a set of techniques that change how you feel about and prepare to show up authentically on camera. There is a level of nuance to this that is so easily lost in what people are familiar with already, and the newness of this media training. Yes, it's a set of techniques and a strategy, but it has nothing to do with those performative categories that we're used to hearing about in mainstream, in media training. This is all about how you can show up authentically, to build trust at scale, to connect with the audience as you actually are. That's very exciting. And so I would love to hear your thoughts. There's a space that you can connect with me on our website, and it's a really innovative new space we're just testing out at the moment to see how people engage with it. Had a few people coming through already, so we're just looking forward to letting people kick the tires in their own time, but having a virtual coffee, if you like, hearing a few ideas and getting your feedback through a response form that you can share your thoughts with us. So this is what I invite you to take a look at. Is that link on our website, moveyoumedia.com, moveyoumedia.com, and that's where you can follow that up, or you can just dive in on any one of our direct messaging spaces. I'm the Unretired Reporter on YouTube, on LinkedIn. It's Evan Batten, and I'd love to have the chat. I'd love to hear how you think this can help your C-suite executives. You might be in HR, you might be in marketing, you might be at the top yourself, kind of going, where can I go to get help with this? So I'm glad you've taken the time to have a look at this. Wellington's very suspicious of every dog that walks past, because until they're a friend, we've got to establish who they are, check their credentials. And it's just like that for people looking at you, just like that for people checking you out in whatever capacity that might be. They want to get to know you before that. It's about to build trust with you. It's about getting to like you, to know you. And this is the way to do that at scale. Not through AI-generated content, but through showing up authentically on camera. Friends, I can help you to do that. I coach people in this space, and it's not a course. It's through sharing a set of ideas, stepping you through a process, taking you through a very personal journey that allows you to change and show up authentically. I think the rain's stopped now. You coming back, Welli? Welli! Here he comes. Come on. You gonna come back up? Come on. Well, you had enough. He's had enough. He's ready to go inside and sit somewhere else. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this. Would love to keep the conversation going. So let's talk.